Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings. Thanks for tuning
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings, and our show is brought to you proudly by Quarter Phi Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious Bilt Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black quarterback from high schools throughout America. As always, we are excited and thrilled to have you join us tonight. If you enjoy what we're doing, please support us by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and tapping the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Join us live every Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for more phenomenal conversations. Well, our guest tonight is an outstanding quarterback from the state of Florida. Got a chance to travel from his hometown of maybe about 150 miles north to Daytona Beach, where he got his career started for college football. 4 seasons while playing at Bethune-Cookman University. Our guest total 4,685 yards, 31 touchdowns, and he is 6th on the all-time passing list for the Wildcats. Got a chance to go to Canada and participate a little bit up there. And now his opportunities are even greater because not only is he doing some coaching, but he's doing something you're not going to believe a lot of guys will be into. But we're going to talk about that after our break. But please welcome our guest tonight by way of Delray Beach, Florida, Mr. Larry Brim Jr. Larry, good evening.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Doing fantastic. What about yourself?
Doing good, man. You know, just cherishing the day. That's all I can do.
Well, that's a great thing, man. And happy Memorial Day to you and all our guests who are watching, man, because it is a day to kind of relax a little bit, kind of calm down. But I'm sure most of your weekends aren't as calm as most of us, and we'll talk about that a little later in the show because this is going to be phenomenal. But let's talk a little bit about Larry Brim Jr. and his time not only playing back at Delray Beach. What high school was that at Delray Beach, Larry?
I went to Village Academy. It was a small school. The school is about, I want to say, it's still younger than me. It's a K through 12 school.
Okay.
I started there in first grade after I left Verde Elementary School. So I left Verde, went to Village, and
Wow.
I went there in first grade, and I started playing City League football for Delray Rocks. I didn't play what I was playing. I was playing offensive line at the time.
You must have been a little chunky guy.
Well, I wasn't. I was just, you know how it is. It's still the same way. You got the kids, their dad coach, and stuff like that. So it's like that. So but yeah, I played there and then ended up getting to the 7th grade, and my school decided that they wanted to start a football team. So
Okay.
and out in 7th grade. So transition in the 8th grade, we started. We played our first JV schedule, and that was pretty cool. Like that was my first time ever playing quarterback against these teams, and I'm like, that was a major culture shock. That was different. But other than that, like as the years go by, anybody that's getting trained by the proper coaches should get better, get better and progress. And so that's what happened. And I ended up at Bethune-Cookman after playing high school ball. Yeah.
What was it like when you were playing for the Rocks, man, and getting those first couple of hits at quarterback, man? I know that kind of.
Well, at the Rocks, it was a little different because I was the one blocking for the quarterback,
Right.
It was crazy. But, when I started playing at Village and in 8th grade JV. That was that was scary, man. The guys were a little bit bigger. We played some JV teams, and that was my first time ever playing quarterback. So not wanting to take the hit, like not knowing. I thought I had to be a pocket passer the whole time. I didn't start running the ball until like probably halfway through the season. They was like, "Oh, our quarterback found out that he can run the ball." So it was crazy. Taking those hits was a little different too, but I found out that that got me into my comfort zone after a while over the time, like taking a hit. Like, all right, cool. This gonna be a long game, or this gonna be a good one. You know what I mean? So.
When did it really hit you, man, that quarterback was the position that you really wanted to play?
I want to say that 8th grade year.
Okay.
I started out at linebacker. And the I started out at linebacker. In JV, started out linebacker. But I was battling to back up the starting quarterback for the position.
Yeah.
But he was older. He was like a junior or something like that at the time, and he was older. I was only in 8th grade, and we were battling. And in practice, I caught a pick. He threw me a pick, and they was like, "Man, get in!" So they put me in, and it was, quarterback from there on.
Okay. So throughout your high school career, playing at a small school. Was a lot different than playing probably at a public school. When I think about Delray Beach, man, I always think about Carver High of Delray Beach. I don't know if that school is even around anymore, but that used to be the only black high school in Delray back in the day. But that's what comes to mind. But playing for a small charter school or small school like Village Academy, man, how different was it for you being there versus maybe some of your friends or guys you knew that played at the public schools?
I would say playing at Village, it was unique because we only had 20 players.
Wow.
Everybody played both ways. I played it a little bit. I played a little bit of safety.
Okay.
But everybody played both ways, where a lot of my other friends that played at like Atlantic High School or Boynton Beach or all those, big powerhouse schools, everybody. Some of them played, like maybe one or two of them played both ways, but other than that, everybody else just played one side of the ball, which that was different. And then we didn't have that many students either, which, you knew everybody. All the teachers knew everybody, knew the names, knew the parents. So that was the difference, between going from a bigger school to our school where it wasn't that many kids in the classes. So you got a lot of one-on-one time.
Was it a surprise to you, Larry, to get an offer from Bethune-Cookman based on the fact that you were coming from a small school like that and probably didn't have the visibility that other guys had?
I would say no. So it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you something that I didn't know. So growing up, I didn't really know nothing about football. I didn't even I didn't think that I would play football, to be honest.
Okay.
Until all my friends started playing. So it was a little different. So let's go back and talk about the offer. When I got the offer, I really didn't know nothing about the school until I got the offer. And I was like, let me do my research. And my dad also, he also piggybacked off of it because he knew about the school. So after doing my research, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like they had some good prospects go to the NFL, Rasheem Mathis, Nick Collins, all those guys. And I was like, okay, it's not bad. So, but I also, was weighing my options like a lot of the high school kids do. But that's where it ended up going to after I went. Me and one of my former teammates, Frank Brown, we did our visit together, and it was sold after that. So
okay. Well, upon arriving at Bethune-Cookman and getting, inducted into that maroon and gold, and you played for Coach
Donald Hanna.
Oh, you played for Coach Hanna. Okay. So the one name that comes to mind anytime I think about Bethune, man, and he's a legend. He was probably the first football player from Bethune-Cookman to go to the pros, and that was Coach Jack Cy McLaren.
Okay. Yeah, I know Coach Jack. Yeah.
Coach Cy. So once you got to Bethune, how many guys did you have to battle for that position?
Oh, man, I was the youngest. Well, it was me and who else? I want to say they brought in another quarterback too. So they already had Quentin Williams,
Yeah.
Jackie, who else? Man, they had Q Jack, Brock Waters, and then it was me and another guy. So it was 5 of us in total. So I was battling 4.
Okay.
So Jack was a senior, Brock was I think a red shirt senior at the time. So those 2 guys were getting ready to head out the door.
Right.
And then there was Q in front of me, and then it was me, and then the other quarterback that was behind me. So
okay. So once those guys in front of you left, and then it was kind of like you and maybe 1 or 2 other guys, did you feel like you were pretty much in a position to become the starter for the next couple of years, maybe your junior and senior year? Did you kind of just see that happening, and you were a guy that people had to beat out in order to get the job?
Well, Cookman was a little different when Coach Jenkins was there, because that was our the first head coach that I had there before Coach Sams. So when Coach Jenkins was there, we had a dual quarterback system. If one quarterback didn't get in the role, they let the other quarterback go in. So they let me go in my redshirt freshman year against Savannah State. And that was the highlight. Other than the classic at the end of that year, winning on the 2-point conversion, but that the beginning of that year played against Savannah and I threw 5 touchdowns, and it was sold from there. So
wow,
yeah.
So your confidence just really skyrocketed after that particular game. You throw 5 touchdowns in the game, man. Your confidence got to be off the chart.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I said, that was the first college game I played in. So I was like, all right, that was the momentum. So
yeah,
it was the beginning of the momentum. Yep.
Okay. And being that at that time, you guys were playing in the MEAC, other than Florida A&M, who did you see as probably that team that gave you most trouble in your career at Bethune-Cookman? I'm gonna see if you're gonna say the same team I'm gonna say.
Well, I got to give it to 2 of them because they always, man, it's between, we always had trouble with either, it was North Carolina, A&T or
A&T. Okay.
Or because, they had Tariq Cohen back then. Yeah. And then North Carolina Central. But I ain't going to lie, South Carolina State was also always.
Okay.
Yeah, South Carolina State was always a dog fight. So, yeah. So,
well, as the former sports information director at Bethune-Cookman, let me tell you, man, South Carolina State was always a dogfight. If you caught Delaware State late in the year when they were running the double wing T, you might as well just go ahead and chalk up an L, because that wing T, man, once it got rolling that late in the season, it was almost virtually unstoppable. But South Carolina State, man, other than Florida A&M, was probably that opponent that, man, either in Daytona or in Orangeburg, it was a fight.
Yep.
Right. So, well, knowing that you had such success and you had some real good games, talk a little bit about your best year or your best games, and then talk a little bit about that Florida Classic for everybody.
Man, I want to say my best year was my senior year. That was the year I got to play a full year by myself. We had a new coach. We had Coach Sims at the time, and we had a new offensive coordinator. We had Jim Pry before, and then we went on to Alan Suber. So that was a whole 360 as well, because we had a whole new playbook and we redesigned everything for this. But we had the receivers. We had nothing but seniors that year. My senior year, everybody was seniors on the line and at receiver and running back. So I want to say that was my best year. Had my most passing yards, had the most touchdowns. Still came back in the Classic to win, because we were down in the Classic my senior year, and we came back to win that game. So you're that kind of comeback kid,
quarterback. You brought the Wildcats back a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now you said you didn't know nothing. You didn't know a whole lot about Bethune-Cookman, but when you went to the first Florida Classic, that first Florida Classic for you, what were your feelings about that and all the, excitement and everything going swirling around there? What was that like for you?
Man, I was different. I never played in a stadium that big before with that many people. So like, man, I can play it back like it was yesterday. When they put me in after they took Quentin Williams out, they put me in and we started getting the ball rolling. Man, you hear that crowd cheering, the band going. Like, man, it was like a movie. It was like a movie because I want to say that last play. Coach Jenkins usually I think it was called Spider or something like that, where we set up in a certain formation for the field goal. And he'll either say go for the field goal or he'll say go for the 2-point conversion. He pointed at me. When he pointed at me, that means like it's me. I'm carrying the ball. So, man, he pointed at me and I was like, oh, here we go. So got out there, scored. Man, that was crazy. The crowd, it was like a movie.
So, Larry, how much trash talking? I mean, when rivalry games happen, man, it's not only trash talking up in the stands. How much trash talking is going on the field, man?
It all depends who got that momentum. I want to say my senior year when we were down pretty good. But I don't know. I was determined. It was my last year. I didn't want to go out on the L. So that was the most trash talking I probably did that year. Like I was hyped up. I was really hyped up on winning that game and completing my senior year off right before going into getting ready for pros.
Well, I know that you bounced back from some injuries during your time in college, man. Was it very difficult to kind of come back from that? Did you think you might miss your last year because you had been injured, or what were your thoughts?
I would say the year that I got injured, that was the first time we decided we wanted to play against. I want to say it was Alcorn.
Okay.
It was one of those games that it was a SWAC team.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I had a hairline fracture in my foot, and it had me out for about 6 weeks. I want to say 6 to 5 weeks. Coming back, it was difficult because I was still partially like getting over it. So I felt slower. Like I didn't have the burst that I had when I first, when I was playing before then. So I didn't have the burst, and then I just felt slower. It took me some time to get from that. So it did affect me a little bit, but it's crazy. It affected me in the run game, but it made me a better pocket passer.
Gotcha.
So,
do you think in this day and time, in this particular era, that the dual threat quarterbacks will be what we will see from now on? I mean, I grew up in a time where pocket passing was the predominant thing, but now it seems that dual threat quarterbacks are taking over. I will say this though, growing up, when I went to college football games, which basically were black college football games, black college quarterbacks always been dual threat.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to see pocket passing, you had to wait for Tennessee State to come to town because that's kind of what they did. But everybody else just kind of was pocket passing. I mean, a dual threat rather. So do you think that's going to kind of just be the trend from now on, or do you think it might change back?
I don't see it going back. Looking at the league now, you got these D linemen running 4.9s and 4.5s, and these linebackers are faster. Everybody's fast. So right. I don't like without that elusiveness, evading defender. Like you need to have some sort of dual threat ability. If you don't, it's a little bit harder because you got these guys getting up on you even before they say it used to be 4 seconds. You got 4 seconds to get the ball out of your hand. It's not that no more. Like it's a whole lot faster.
Okay, a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
And does being in the shotgun make it slower or faster for a quarterback?
Faster. You got time. You know what I mean? Between the snap, getting the ball in your hand, the defense is moving, doing, going into their responsibility. Yeah. So you're watching that. You're watching them move. You're knowing your keys. So that's what film study is for as well. So you're watching the keys. You're watching them move, and like, all right, the coach is gonna call your play depending on the coverage. So if they know they're gonna go into cover 3 just off base watching film. Now they're like, okay, we're gonna call this play. But there also is, if they go drop into cover 2, you'll have outlet. So yeah, like it's set up. Quarterbacks should have like their keys to go to each play. Yeah.
Larry, it's an interesting thing. I don't think many people talk about the amount of time you have to prepare from one game to the next. I mean, because you're only talking about maybe 5 days to prepare from one kind of team and their defense to the other, and not only the schemes but some of the talented players. Talk a little bit about making that transition from week to week and the difficulties and the things. If you had to teach, or if you're teaching a young quarterback how to make that transition happen, to make it pretty, I guess, effective and easy for them, because it is not a lot of time for you to take in getting ready for that next team.
I would say, because, first we're student athletes, we start in class. For me, I did all my schoolwork early. Like I knocked out everything. I wanted to be at the point where when it's time to watch film, I don't have to worry about, I got to turn in this assignment. So I would say my thing is, if you have classwork, get it done. Do it days in advance, because they give you so much time to turn it in. So do it days in advance. That way you can lock in on the field. You can lock in on film study. Like that's the biggest thing. A lot of people procrastinate their classwork, which puts them behind on watching film or whatnot. But I'm pretty sure a lot of these schools recruit quarterbacks that know how to balance that out. So, yeah.
Was studying film something that you did a lot of when you were in high school?
High school, yeah. That was a good thing about it. With having Coach James Pinckney and Donald Hanna and John Lewis, man, they were former college players. James Pinckney played at ECU. Okay. And Coach Hanna, he was my first quarterback coach. I would say that. So, and then he ended up being my head coach. But we would come in, we have a game, we have a game, and I go in Saturday like, hey, coach, you trying to watch film? Like, he's like, yeah, we can watch it. So we go in and watch film. He'll give me a breakdown sheet. We'll see, go over the plays and what play will work against it, what play wouldn't. And yeah, like he was the main source of teaching me how to watch film.
Well, as critical as that is, man, in addition to watching film, what would be some other keys that you would tell a quarterback, a rising quarterback, that they needed to focus in on?
So this is something that I learned in the CFL. In the CFL, watching film now is a whole lot different than it was through those stages in life. Everything gets better. But now I would tell them, like, dude, like, you're going to need a book. When I train quarterbacks, we take a book, and there's one player. We probably play like 15, 16 games. So there's going to be one player, that cornerback. You got to see what he's doing in 1st and 10, maybe 2nd and 10, 2nd and short, 2nd and 3rd. Like every cornerback or every player they do different things. You know what I mean? So you end up basically writing a whole book on one player. You know what I mean? And a lot of the quarterbacks can, at the upper level, can attest to that.
Yeah, well, it's definitely important to zero in on those tendencies that these guys have, because, having studied them and having a tip here and there can make the difference between a big play or moving the sticks or a touchdown. So, yeah, that's important. As I was looking up some information about you, Larry, I ran across something that I want to just talk with you about very briefly. I know that a lot of times, you know, they have these combines for guys to go through and to perform at. We see the combines, we hear about the combines, we kind of look at, you know, what these guys are doing. But as I was looking at that information, man, I ran across the fact that, you know, there's a lot of scoring going on based on skills and things like that.
Yeah.
What could you talk about as it relates to going through the combine and the things they actually are grading you on? Because it looked like it's about a dozen things, man, that they're grading you guys on that people just don't hear about. They just hear about, oh, okay, he went to the combine, they saw him throw some passes, and that's all we know. But in looking at the scoring, I was like, oh, man, that's pretty intense.
I would say, like, going to the combine is basically you're doing your 40, you're running your 40-yard dash, you're running your 5-10-5 shuttle, your L drill. You also have broad jump, your vertical jump, and your bench. So me, I didn't do bench personally because quarterbacks don't really get into the bench aspect. But you have your bench side of it. And then you have your position drills where, you know, you can show off your talents and show off you throwing the ball to your receivers and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's different. It's different, like, you know, than the everyday practice, you know. But yeah, it's zeroed in on what is he good at? Can he redirect fast, or, you know, can he get the ball out of his hands quick? You know, depending on whatever you're doing. So,
is there an optimal score that kind of puts you in a position better than a low score? Is there kind of like, if you score, say, like 7+ out of 10, I mean, is there an optimal score that they're actually trying to get a better feel for you on?
Well, through that whole process, they do grade like my passing. Like, let's say through that whole process, when we did our position drill, the quarterback, one of the scouts on there put triple A, and mean like I had good arm strength, good accuracy, and I, you know, everything panned out good. He was like, man, like, it was one of the scouts from the Bears. He was like, man, we just brought in, I think they had Trubinsky at the time.
Okay, yeah.
We just brought in Trubinsky. We like you. You had a great pro day. Let's stay in contact. So that was, you know, that's how they look at it. They look at how's your accuracy, how are you doing throughout the drills. Like, they grade you on all that. So I'm assuming they give you like an A, B, like, you know, like grading on paper. So
okay. Are you familiar with the Wonderlic test, Larry?
Yeah. I want to say I didn't take that test. I did take it. We took it when I think a few scouts came to the school.
Okay.
And we took it. Yeah, I think it was the Jaguar scouts. They came, we took it.
Did you find the test kind of odd based on what it's asking you as related to football? Did you kind of find it kind of like, why are they asking me these kind of questions to try to understand my football IQ? Did that kind of strike you?
A little bit.
Yeah,
yeah, because it's different. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to see, you know, a lot of teams want to see your social skills too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
See how you are with the team. They want to know if you're going to fit. And that's the same thing, you know, with a lot of sports. Like, they don't want to bring in a guy that's not going to fit the organization. So they, you know, they do that test to see, you know, how your IQ is, of course, and if you will be a fit for their program. So,
and I asked that question simply because that aptitude test has been a reason why a lot of black quarterbacks didn't get opportunities in years past, simply because they didn't score very well. Some guys didn't even take it because they didn't see the necessity in it. But, you know, it's just kind of been interesting. In my book, The Forgotten Quarterbacks, when I found out that there was such a test, it just struck me real odd that would be a determining factor as to whether a guy can play the game of football. Not the social skills now, but just the intelligent type of questions that, you asking me something about relationship to planets and the sun. What does that have to do with football?
So, right. And that takes me back to a movie. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's called Life, when they had that one baseball player. Like, he was good, man. You know what I mean? Like, you got players like that. You got players that understand football. You know what I mean? They're actually really good. I had one teammate in college. His name was Hansey, and he was amazing.
Okay.
He was everything you wanted as a receiver / running back. Whatever he played, he was good at. You know what I mean? But, not a lot of people are strong in the classroom,
sure.
which it's like that. That's where they need that extra help. But yeah, like I completely understand, like, why does a test contradict on if you can play the game or not? I definitely understand what you mean by that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, stay with us, Larry. I'm going to take a quick time out, man. And when we come back, we're going to flip the gears and switch things and turn that hat around. And we're going to have some fun about what you're currently doing now as a professional. Stay with us. Our guest tonight here on the Post Route, former quarterback at Bethune-Cookman University, number 6 on the all-time Wildcats passing list, Larry Brim Jr. We're going to come back and talk with him about what he's doing now. It's going to surprise you. But for right now, we're going to go through, as we always like to do, let you just get an opportunity once again to know about the kind of merchandise we do here at the Post Route and at Quarter Five Back. I want to start off tonight by talking about, hey, if you haven't gotten the book to add to your library, you need to order one today, The Forgotten QBs, the little-known history, information, and statistics about Black quarterbacks in American college football. I wrote this book about 3 years ago to help maintain and continue the legacies of Black quarterbacks who've played this game for many, many years, and we don't want their history or legacies to get lost. So we want to make sure that young men like Larry Brim Jr. know their history and know whose shoulders they're standing on, because there are quite a few guys that are doing that. So The Forgotten Quarterbacks, you can order it online from our website and just put in your order on our email, and you can pay us either by Zelle or by Cash App. Also, want to remind you that you can get the official Quarter Five Back logo T-shirt in our colors of copper and black and white and cream. The logo there of the late, great Oliver Joyce, who we named the Bilt Memorial Trophy after. But this is a beautiful shirt. It's a sublimation shirt, polyester design, wears very well. It's breathable. Only $40, about $48 if you are sizes 2X to 4X. So there's that shirt. And if that shirt doesn't work for you and you're a golfer, well, try our Quarter Five Back golf shirt. It comes in black with the logos on the front and back. And of course, down the sides, it says the preeminent. Again, breathable material, works very well. You'll love to have it. And I guarantee you, if you wear it, people will ask you questions about what is a Quarter Five Back. And then, of course, to take it one step further, for those of you who just need a warm-up to work out in and lounge around in, and you want to support what we're doing here at Quarter Five Back, you can get you the official Quarter Five Back warm-up in our colors with the logos on the front chest and left chest and left pant pocket. $89.99 is the cost for that. A little bit more for the extra large sizes. But you can, again, go to our website, go to the email address, tell us what you want, and we'll get that out to you. All our merchandise is custom made, so we customize it just for you. And then if you just want to show everybody that you are familiar and a supporter of the only national award that we do under the umbrella of Quarter Five Back, get you the official cotton logo T-shirt, $25 for that shirt. And again, you can order it off our website. Now, if you have not checked out our other show, and I know you might say, what other show? The show is called The Forgotten Quarterbacks Podcast. It comes on every Sunday at 1 o'clock, and it is about a 15 to 20-minute show where we highlight the history of quarterbacks or the programs they played in, or a crossover of both. We've talked about guys in the Arena Football League, talked about guys in the Canadian Football League. Just recently on yesterday, our topic was a guy by the name of Herb Singleton, the first black quarterback at the University of Oregon and the first black quarterback to sign a contract with the Seattle Seahawks when they first started that team in 1976. That and more information is what you can find out about on the Forgotten podcast every Sunday. So check us out. So we're going to get back to my guest tonight, Larry Brim Jr. Larry, welcome back to the show. We're going to turn that hat around, man, and go from talking football and quarterbacking to, this is going to shock everybody, I know, but we're going to talk NASCAR. Yeah. We're going to talk NASCAR. Yes, indeed. So, Larry, you put in your time on the gridiron, and now you're on the racetrack. Tell everybody what you're doing now and how you got involved with NASCAR racing.
Now I work for Nice Motorsports. I work in the engine department, but I also help out with everything else when it's time for teardown. But I mainly work in the engine department. And then I also do the pit crew, like I'm a carrier for the 44 truck. And then I got it. Go ahead.
So you do the trucks, not the cars.
Oh, well, also Xfinity. Sorry. So I do the 91 Xfinity car as well.
Okay. All right. Now, there's a guy that went to Winston-Salem State that races a truck in the truck series.
Yep.
Okay. From North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, he's been having a good run at it. Have you had a chance to speak with him and talk with him a little bit?
So we got two brothers driving. One is in ARCA, LeVar Scott. And then we have Raja Caruth, the guy you're talking about, and we're real close. He's like a little brother to me.
Okay.
So, I know his dad, know his mom, know his sister. Like we're real close. Yeah.
So you got into NASCAR. Did you know anything about NASCAR before you got into it, man?
No, nothing.
Not a thing.
I just knew we had a racetrack out there by, with
and that was the extent of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that particular sport, man, has been around since 1959, at least on the tracks. And to see a guy like yourself, I'm going to take it that you really enjoy what you're doing with this NASCAR race team.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I've been with bigger teams. I've been at Team Penske. I've been at but where I'm at now, even though it's not doing Sunday stuff, like I'm not gonna lie, it's been fun. Like where I'm at now, the guys are good. My boss he's an amazing guy. So yeah, it's just been cool, and just learning a whole bunch of new stuff about the truck and how to build it and how to tear it down and get the next truck ready for the next race. So yeah.
How much time do you guys spend working on getting a truck ready from track to track?
It's a little different because cup racing is you gotta be on it. It's every weekend. But truck racing is a little different. You have weeks off. Like in July, we'll have 3 weeks off from racing in truck.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I think after we got 2 more races, 2 more back-to-back races, then we'll have 2 weeks off. So like when it's back-to-back races, we try to be at least 2 trucks ahead. So we're working on, we're dropping engines in 2 trucks. But the main focus is that race that's coming up. So usually the guys are finished with that week's truck like a day before it loads up and get on the hauler and get ready to get out of, head to whatever state we're going to. And then as pit crew guys, like we go in, the crew chief have us go in, we jack the truck up and, make sure everything looks good. And that will be good for a sustainable pit stop so we can do what we need to do to help them gain spots on pit road.
Well, I've been around NASCAR for a long time myself, and to know that you're doing that now, man, I'm just honored. I think Wendell Scott would be honored to know that you are doing what you're doing. The late, great Wendell Scott, the first black NASCAR race driver. What's your race team's name and number? What number is on the truck? So the next time I'm scanning the TV and I see there's a Craftsman Truck Series race on, I'm going to tune in to kind of get an idea of where you are and what's going on with your truck. What's your truck?
It's number 44, and the main driver is Bailey Curry. So yeah, we have Bailey this weekend. We do have alternate drivers at some tracks. But like I said, our main driver is Bailey Curry. We go to, I want to say, where do we go this upcoming week? Where do we go? Nashville. We go to Nashville this upcoming week. Yep. Okay. So that should be a fun one. Let him go out there and do what he need to do. You know, I know he's excited to get out there and get after it. Like, I'm real close with Bailey as well. And, you know, I know he's a fighter, and he's been doing phenomenal this year. Great driver.
Well, we're going to be tuned in and watching, man, to see how things work out for you guys. And you say you're on the jack, you're on the wheels. I mean, where are you on race day? Where are you stationed?
I'm the carrier, so I'm the guy taking out 2 tires.
Okay.
Yep, taking out 2 tires. I drop one off for our jack man. Our jack man will put the right front on, I put the right rear on. And then, you know, I carry my right rear tire that came off the truck to the front, and there's catchers back there, so the catchers would catch that right rear tires. I roll it to them, and then I grab my left front tire and put it on the left front of the car.
Now, you know, Larry, you know, people want to know, how much do those tires and wheels really weigh, man? I mean, what's the weight of one of them things? Because I know they're not light, and you got to be doing some working out in order to stay fit to do that. I mean, how much would one of those weigh?
So it's crazy. You got 2 separate tires. So you have a liner and you have a non-liner. Now, our liners are about 65, 70 pounds.
Wow.
And carrying out 2 of them is pretty heavy. and the reason they call them liners is because you got 2, like, it's a tire on the outside and there's a tire on the inside, just in case, like, it goes flat, it'll protect the truck from wrecking.
Right.
And then those non-liners are about 35 pounds, 45 pounds, which is not too bad. I love the line.
I'm sure.
And then you got the cup tire. The cup tire is around 35 pounds. The new tire that they have with the 1 lug nut. Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that being a part of a race team, man, has been a different experience for you. Have you been able to take some of the things you dealt with in football and transition them or apply them for some of the things you do in race car, being with a race car team? Not necessarily the physical aspects, but maybe some of the mental aspects or some of the things that you have to do to prepare for a race.
We still watch film. So we watch film. You know, if there's a mistake or if there's something we need to, like, as an individual or as a team, get better. We go back and watch the film and see where we, you know, can get better at. And then for me, it's pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty quick, you know, being a quarterback, you got to be quick on your feet. So that also helps with analyzing, recognizing, and attacking.
So you've been to Daytona for a race, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
You been to Talladega?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because those are the largest tracks that they have in NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
What have been some more of your memorable experiences in some of the races you've been at, either track-wise or race-wise? What have been some of the great memories you've taken from that experience?
Just to be honest, every time you're out there and you got a chance to win is a memorable experience to me. Like this year, we have had a lot of chances to win. Just minor things happen to the truck, or, you know, minor things happen that's holding us back from that win. Like, we finished second here in Charlotte this past weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and it just cycled out weird, you know, when you're going through that cycling period. And like the trucks are going back out, and it just cycled out weird to where the 11 truck was so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time you get out there on that track and you have that chance to win, and it's competitive, like it's memorable because it makes you happy and it makes you watch that TV even more. So, yes, sir.
Hey, have you ever had to carry the gas can out there, Larry?
Oh, yeah. Actually, and I would say it's the late model series. The very first. Well, there's the legend cars, and then you got late model. Late model. I was with Raja, the black driver I was telling you about. I was with him for his first win ever in late models. So I was able to, witness that. But I have had the gas and change tires before. So, yes, sir.
That gas can is just a little bit heavier, I think, than the tires.
Yeah, 100 pounds, 110. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
110 pounds. Yeah. Yes,
now, do they give you guys some type of regimented workouts that you guys need to do in order to kind of just stay physically in tune with what your jobs are?
Yeah. So right now, what is it? Tuesday and Wednesday we work out, but you also, you go out and get it on your own as well. But our trainer Mike, he puts us through various workouts. Right now we're in the midst of the season, so it's not to kill us, but to keep us in shape.
Sure.
To keep us where we need to be at to be successful on pit road.
Well, we're going to be looking out for number 44, man, in upcoming races, and I'm definitely going to be looking to see that guy carrying those wheels out to the trucks, because I want to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now, aside from that, because you are now residing in Kannapolis, North Carolina, correct?
Yes, sir.
You are now also doing some quarterback training. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. How's that going?
It's been special. Because my career came to an end, COVID,
okay.
That's when I moved here. COVID happened. I was supposed to actually go back and play for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah.
But COVID happened. All the coaches got fired. So I was like, man, I'm going to take this career in NASCAR. But, being able to give back and show the kids how to be a top-notch player, how to study, how to attack warm-ups, because a lot of kids don't know how to warm up. Some of the coaches that are coaching now really never played before. Some of them are just, dads, or some of them are dads, or some of them that are coaches that haven't made it to that top-tier level that is lacking on a few things. So like I've been around quarterbacks that don't know, that never got taught to read coverages, so I'm teaching basically everything: classroom work, field work, and then also just being a leader on and off the field. So I'm trying to help any and every quarterback get to where they want to be at in life. And if you give me that objective, just be prepared, because we're gonna get the work in.
Okay. And Larry, how are some of the younger guys responding to you? Are they just being like sponges and soaking it all in, man, and everything you tell them they're applying, versus older guys, they get to the point they think they know everything, so you can't teach them nothing. But the younger guys, man, they're like sponges. How are these guys responding to you?
My younger kids have been really good. I would spotlight one of them. His name's Kellen. We call him Kellen, from Kellen Winslow. But Kellen, he's, man, for a 10-year-old kid, he's doing high school level stuff for a 10-year-old kid.
Is that right?
Stepping in the pocket, delivering digs, delivering corners, delivering 10-yard outs as a 10-year-old kid at that. Soon I'll have some videos up on my Instagram of him doing that. But man, he's been phenomenal. He listens. His dad is, his dad's on him a little bit, because he wants him to be successful. That's what he want to do. He want to play quarterback. So you got to stick with it. But yeah, no, he has been a sponge. He listens, and he go out and do exactly what I asked him to do. So, yeah.
Well, we have been bringing on middle school guys over the last year to be guests on the show. Seventh grade, we got a phenomenal seventh grader out of Marietta, Georgia, man. That he is going to be something special. We've got some eighth graders we've done. As a matter of fact, we even got a second grader coming on to the show in a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, he's out in California, and we found out about him, man, and we talked to his dad, and his dad was like, yeah, we'd love to come on the show. But when you see, you know, dads or coaches pouring into guys at a young age, and they're taking it all in and listening, because that's the key, then it makes for a better student athlete. So I'm going to just extend the invitation to you to give to Kellen to let him know that we want to bring him on the show.
All right, I got you.
We want to bring him on the show and just talk to him about being a quarterback and what it's like to. Now I'm gonna take it. He looks like me and you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, I got to make sure, because it's like I want to put my foot in my mouth, but we want to just make sure that, you know, what we're doing as an organization, man, continues to embrace the young men, younger young men like yourself, and guys in the high school and middle school level to embrace your history and your past, man, because you guys are standing on some shoulders of some great guys, and unless you know about them, you kind of don't know. You just think you're out there doing it on your own, and it's like, no, we need to let you know. Right. You played at a school where they had two phenomenal quarterbacks. Bernard Hawk was the all-time leading passer at Bethune-Cookman, followed by J.D. Hall. Both of those guys threw for over 7,000 yards. But I'm glad to hear that you are working to teach young guys now, because these kind of things weren't around some 30 years ago. They didn't have guys like yourself teaching these guys. They just had to learn it as they go. And like you say, sometimes you got coaches, they didn't ever play. They don't really understand the concepts, and they just out there filling in some space, or, you know, trying to do the best they can. But I'm glad to see that you're working with these guys. So we've had quite a few North Carolina guys on our national watch list the past couple of years, man. From Charlotte to Greensboro, we've had some phenomenal high school quarterbacks, man, that have done some things and been on national watch list. So I'm going to email you a copy of our national watch list from last year, so you can just see some of the North Carolina guys, because we break it down state by state. And I think we probably had about 30 guys from North Carolina who were on our list last year, man. But they're all phenomenal to just see these guys doing what they're doing. So what are some of the older guys? You got some guys in high school, at the high school level now too?
Yeah. So what? His name's Weston Mikulak.
Okay.
He's really good, man. He's not a brother, but he's really good.
Okay.
He's been training.
Okay.
He's been training with me, I want to say, for 3 years now.
Okay.
I've seen him grow exponentially. He's, you know, come from where he was at to, you know, implementing a little bit of that dual threat that I brought to him.
Yeah.
Also, his arm angles are a whole lot better. Like, he can throw sidearm, he can throw over the top. So I'm just preparing him to, at this point now, he has a national schedule coming up.
Okay.
Coming year, playing against schools in Georgia, schools in other states, to where this, you know, I told him this year would be the year that you put your name on the map, you know, because everybody didn't see him. He played JV last year. Everybody didn't see him play against the big teams. And
yeah,
you know I mean, wondering why, this kid got 3 stars, but he only played JV, but he's really good. But now he's going to play against that national schedule. You know, now it's time to shut those haters up and show them, you know, who Weston Mikulak is. So,
what high school is he at, Larry?
Ambassador Christian.
Ambassador Christian. Okay.
Yeah. Sponsored by Michael Jordan and Danny Hamlin.
Okay. Tell me this, man. What was it like the first time guys called you Coach Brim?
Well, they call me Coach Larry, but man, it's cool. I don't let it settle in. But at first I was like, just call me Larry. But now I'm okay with it.
Well, that's an honor, man. I mean, you know what it's like when you have your coaches, man. Coaches have a high esteemed place for young men, and if they call you Coach Larry, Coach Brim, yeah, okay, embrace that, because that's ultimate respect, man. Ultimate. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondering what it's like, man, the first time you hear that and you're like, Coach Larry, man, okay, all right, I got to embrace that now, but but it's just one of those things, man. So I'm glad, and I wish you the best in teaching these young men, man, because they definitely deserve to have someone like you. Like we've talked to other guys who are becoming quarterback coaches. These guys deserve someone to train them up correctly, not just throwing the football, but the mentality of understanding, as they say, understanding the game. Mm-hmm. We got a chance to get a better look at understanding the game this past draft season, of understanding the business of the game. Right. So we have to train them up and prepare them, because sometimes mom can't do it all. Mom wants the best, but mom can't do it all. So kudos to you, Larry, and you keep doing what you're doing, man, and just know that we're here. But we're going to be looking for that invitation to Kellen and getting Kellen on the show, man, because we definitely want to have him on.
Okay, sounds good, man. I'll definitely reach out to him.
Please do. And tell him we don't bring him on unless the parents say it's okay.
Right.
You can say, okay, yeah, coach, I'll do it. No, you go talk to mom and dad and make sure they say it's okay, because I always make it a point to talk to mom and dad so they can know who we are and get a good feel for us.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, Larry, we are just about out of time, man, but let me tell you, man, it has been a joy to talk to you, man, and this part of the show I love so very, very much, because now we get a chance to tell you how important you are to us by welcoming you into the brotherhood of Black quarterbacks known as Quarter-Five Back Fraternity, man. And tonight you are our newest member. Welcome to the brotherhood, my brother.
I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be a part, and whatever I can do for the younger quarterbacks, even older quarterbacks that's still going through the process, I'm always here.
Well, all we ask, man, is that you continue to help spread the word of who we are and what we're doing, and making sure these guys understand that the legacy of these quarterbacks is very, very important to us. You're now a part of that legacy, because you're now one of our fraternity brothers, and we look to grow and groom other guys like yourself and guys like Kellen and other young guys that you're training. So we're happy to have you a part. Anything we can do to help you out, man, please let us know, because we want to be there for you too.
Okay, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry. Well, until another time, man, we're going to keep our eyes on you in NASCAR, and keep our eyes on what you're doing with these guys up there in Kannapolis, North Carolina, and how you're grooming them up. But you take care of yourself, man. Stay well, stay safe. Definitely stay safe at those tracks, man, and continue to prosper in what you're doing.
I really appreciate it, man, and I hope y'all have a great evening. Enjoy. Keep doing what you're doing. I love this platform, and I'll spread as much as I can. Yes, sir.
All right, Larry. Thank you very much. Hey, that was our guest tonight, Mr. Larry Brim, former quarterback at Bethune-Cookman University. Well, that's going to about do it for us tonight. We want to thank you for joining us. As always, we want to flash the Quarter-Five Backs symbol and logo for Larry to know that, hey, this is who he is, now a part of Quarter-Five Back Fraternity. So until the next time, we're going to say we hope you've enjoyed your holiday, and we'll see you next time. And as always, we say go deep and go for the bomb. See you guys next week.